又被封号了，又要交罚款。
My account has been banned again. I have to pay a fine. It's so difficult to do live streaming. Who can teach me what to do? How should I do it? It feels like everything I do is against the rules, and I'll be fined for everything I do. I don't know what to say or what to do. The June 4th incident in 1989 was the most significant democratic movement in China since the CCP came to power. However, the CCP suppression interrupted the wave of democracy in China. For more than 30 years, the CCP authorities have spared no effort to control public opinion in an attempt to make people forget the mass shooting of a large number of students on June 4th, 1989. However, Beijing's strict blockade has sometimes been self-defeating. Instead, it has triggered the curiosity of many young Chinese netizens, and many people have begun to look for content about the June 4th, 1989 shooting of students by the CCP. Many people were shocked after learning the truth. Some little pinks only woke up after suffering the iron fist of the CCP and thus transformed into anti-communist warriors. Today, we will talk about related topics. But before we do, we would like to invite you to subscribe. Your support is our greatest motivation and allows us to bring you more valuable content. Now, moving on. On December 7th, when an anchor named Wang Yuegong was connecting to a live broadcast platform in China, the other party suddenly displayed an 8964 Capitol Guard medal and the live broadcast room was instantly banned. The June 4th incident is also known as the 1989 Democracy Movement. On June 4th, 1989, the CCP dispatched more than 200,000 martial law troops to enter Beijing to massacre many unarmed students and citizens. The martial law soldiers were awarded the so-called Capitol Guard Medal. One of the Capitol Guard medals appeared in a live broadcast room in China. Some netizens who knew the inside story immediately left messages saying, "We can't talk about it anymore. This topic is perilous." Subsequently, Wang Yuegong's live broadcast room was blocked and the video was removed. According to internal CCP documents obtained by the US from Chinese informants, the CCP killed more than 10,000 students and Beijing citizens in this incident. The total number of injuries was more than 40,000. The June 4th incident shocked the world, and related information has become a sensitive topic in China. On March 18th, the Chinese Rocket Force released a video on the official account of Station B Bilibili. In the video, a female soldier showed off that her father had received the Capitol Guard medal, saying he was a veteran and received this medal while on duty in Tiananmen Square. Controversy arose after the video was released. Many netizens ridiculed it as showing off with the Medal of Sin. The Rocket Force subsequently removed the video. Fang Zhang, who witnessed the June 4th incident and had both legs crushed by a tank, told Radio Free Asia, "This pink soldier can be considered the second generation of June 4th soldiers because her father participated in the suppression operation. As a child, she may not know the meaning of the Capitol Guard medal and think it's an honor for her father. What is the Capitol Guard? It's to suppress the people." Later, we learned that many people in the martial law troops had concealed that they had participated in the suppression operation in Beijing. This may be a shame in their hearts. Because the CCP has been covering up this period of history, many young people do not know the truth about the June 4th incident, which often causes internet conflicts. In 2022, just one day before the June 4th anniversary, China's #1 live streaming salesman Leeji Chi showed tens of thousands of viewers a type of multi-layered ice cream in his live broadcast room. The shape of the ice cream was very similar to a tank, causing the live broadcast to be suddenly interrupted. Many netizens who watched the broadcast were very confused and didn't know what happened. Leeji Chi has 170 million fans, many of whom were born after 1989 and didn't know about the June 4th incident. Many people discussed why the live broadcast was interrupted. Some netizens asked, "What do tanks mean?" and began to inquire privately about the June 4th incident. A netizen left a message and said, "Leeji Chi's incident is certainly magical. I have been a man for several decades and didn't know about the June 4th incident." In recent years, the domestic speech environment has become worse and worse. Everyone feels in danger. If you are not careful, you will touch something that you shouldn't touch, the CCP's Red Line. So the company organized an emergency meeting for everyone and used PPT to popularize various historical events that are not available in books, which was an eye-opener. One comment on Twitter read, "The Leeji Chi paradox. If you want to avoid topics that are censored by the CCP authorities completely, you must know all about them. Some netizens joke that the live broadcast was stopped to let everyone remember this important day. On this important day, the CCP authorities will remind the people occasionally not to forget it. On March 28 this year, Yu Min Hong, founder of New Oriental Group, was invited to visit the Geely automobile factory. Because Li Shufu, chairman of Geely Group, mentioned June 4th many times during Yu Min Hong's live interview, the live broadcast room was temporarily banned. In the video, Li Shufu introduced how he founded the refrigerator factory. A company like Haier should have been a state-designated enterprise then. Yes, we are not a state-designated enterprise, which means we cannot produce. After the June 4th incident, we stopped producing. Because before June 4th, our refrigerators were called North Pole Flowers. Another was in Qingdao, which had a factory called Qingdao Sharp Washing Machine. I remember it had a refrigerator factory. The brand was June Snow. The boss was Ren Qinzu, and it was a state-owned enterprise. The cost of his refrigerators and freezers was too high, and the quality and technology were not good, so he asked us to help him produce. And he put a brand on it called OEM Production. We produce refrigerators, and he put his brand on them, June Snow. The production volume was enormous then, but everything stopped after the June 4th incident. Our cooperation stopped because it was more complicated at that time. After it stopped, I had to give all of them to the government. Is this refrigerator factory still there? The government took it away. What could they do? What you said is so straightforward. Our government can do everything well. These words led to the live broadcast being blocked. Tankman refers to a man who stood alone before a tank during the June 4th incident in 1989. This photo was quite sensitive in China. On May 26 this year, a Taiwanese netizen posted on Facebook a story about Little Pink posting a photo of Tankman. He said that he met a Chinese girl on Facebook who was a little pink. To prove that Chinese people live very freely in China, she posted a photo of Tankman on her Weibo account at 5:42. A Taiwanese netizen said that he made a bet with the girl Little Pink that if she was not arrested within 3 days or her Weibo posts were not deleted, he would join her. The Little Pink said she would be, at most, arrested by the police and given a warning. This year marks the 35th anniversary of the June 4th incident. This Little Pink posted the photo on the eve of the anniversary. Therefore, the Tankman photo was quickly deleted and her Weibo account was also blocked. Taiwanese netizens said that the IP address of this Little Pink posting was in the US and she claimed to be in China and said she was not afraid. Many netizens left comments under the Facebook post mocking the Little Pink. She exercised her once-in-a-lifetime freedom of speech, and you are in the US, but you say you love China. It's so ridiculous. Coincidentally, the Weibo of 3 minutes of Say Lei, a self-media closely following the CCP, has also been banned. Say Lei has 2.6 million fans on Weibo. His past content consists mainly of animated posts and comments attacking the politics and economy of democratic countries such as the US, defending the CCP, and supporting Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Say Lei seems to be a genuine Little Pink. On May 18, 2022, the outside world noticed this account was banned from Weibo for 1 year. It turned out that Say Lei translated someone else's YouTube video into Chinese and posted it on his Weibo. Unexpectedly, the video included a fleeting image of the Tankman, which lasted less than half a second. At the time, only half a month remained until the June 4th anniversary. Posting sensitive images at a sensitive time would undoubtedly result in severe punishment from the CCP. The 3 minutes of Say Lei accounts on Station B in Jihu were also blocked for a certain period. Netizens ridiculed the idea, saying, "This is an excellent way to prevent plagiarism. Let's see if you dare to plagiarize in the future." As the CCP's rule became more and more severe, a Little Pink was posted online to protect her mother's rights. He wanted to prove that Chinese people have this freedom of speech. The post said that his mother and his family had been fighting for their rights for 4 years because of medical malpractice. The local hospital, medical association, and courts joined forces to suppress the family. Even the most basic legal procedures were lost. The post concluded, "All court procedures have been completed. People have no choice but to apply for national online supervision through the internet." The posting date is July 16, 2023. 4 days later, the Little Pink posted on X to show off. It's the 4th day and the Rights Protection Weibo account is still there and has not been locked. He also accused netizens on the X platform of colluding with external forces to overthrow the CCP government. Netizens soon discovered that his Weibo account had been blocked. However, the ban he experienced in 2023 did not wake up the little pink. It's still unclear why this little pink can use the X platform blocked by the CCP in China. Maybe he is overseas. In January this year, this little pink continued to tweet that her dead mother was an outstanding member of the CCP and a representative of the National People's Congress, and she was much more popular than me. This outstanding CCP member mother's attitude towards the students who participated in the June 4th incident is completely consistent with the propaganda of the CCP authorities, and she believes that these students are cannon fodder under the instructions of others. Many netizens on the X platform lamented that this little pink, he and his family have suffered persecution from the CCP. However, he still has no clear understanding of the nature of the CCP and regards all criticism of the CCP system as conspiracies of anti-China forces. His mother unquestionably loved the CCP all her life but died unclearly. His family went to defend their rights, but they couldn't even get justice. How sad. However, many little pinks also came to regret after encountering the iron fist of socialism. A Chinese internet writer, Zhao Ting, was once a little pink who firmly supported the CCP. He believed the CCP's propaganda and invested in a peer-to-peer lending platform in 2016, losing $140,000, including nearly $110,000 from one of his uncles. That was his uncle's life savings, and all the money was lost. He saw countless people had lost their money and could not seek redress. He wanted to plead for the people, so he wrote a letter to the central government. The answer he received was that no one was allowed to mention peer-to-peer anymore, which made him completely desperate. Zhao Ting told overseas media, "I was also raised with a red education. I was taught to love the CCP and the country every day. What about loving my great country? At that time, the person I followed on WeChat was Zhou Xiaoping, the big Wu Mao. His public account was full of praise for the CCP and the motherland. I was brainwashed thoroughly every day, and the iron fist of socialism woke me up." After that, he unfollowed all the public accounts of the CCP's big Wu Mao. After learning to circumvent the Great Firewall, he said, "My 3 perspectives were completely overturned. I felt it was so terrible. I realized that I was living in a world controlled by the devil. I felt that my education in the past few decades was simply unbelievable, and I dared not accept the reality before me. After half a month, I slowly recovered and withdrew from the CCP." He changed from a little pink to an anti-communist. A well-known Chinese screenwriter, Liu was also known as Little Pink. During the epidemic, she worked as a screenwriter for the TV series Together and sang the praises of the CCP's epidemic prevention measures. Unexpectedly, in April 2022, she posted a message on WeChat Moments describing the experience of her elderly parents under the CCP's zero-COVID epidemic prevention policy. She wrote that the 2 older people had been isolated at home for 17 days and had not left the house except to go downstairs for nucleic acid tests. However, they were diagnosed with the virus one after another. Initially, the 2 older people had mild symptoms, but they were harassed and threatened by calls from the neighborhood committee every day saying that they would be dragged to the shelter. As a result, my mother suffered a heart attack and there was no response when she called 120. She had to wait in line at the hospital. The 75-year-old man was tortured to the point of dying. Liu said her mother had been crying and said farewell to her family in the video. Can you read a daughter's desperate heart from the text? Liu once participated in the filming of the CCP's brainwashing TV series Together to whitewash the CCP. She also published 4 articles on her personal WeChat account describing her trip to Wuhan, forcibly representing the people of Wuhan to thank the government and the party. Unexpectedly, a year later, she became one of the ants in the prosperous age that the Chinese often say. During the lockdown in Shanghai, there were countless such tragedies. Economist Long Xianping's mother died in Shanghai because treatment was delayed because she could not wait for a nucleic acid test report. Long Xianping could not see his mother for the last time due to the lockdown in Shanghai, so he criticized the CCP's epidemic prevention policy as questionable. Long Xianping said on Weibo on April 11, 2022 that his mother is 98 years old and her kidneys are failing a little this time. According to past diagnoses, she only needs an injection. It's just because Shanghai strictly stipulates that nucleic acid tests must be done before seeking medical treatment. My mother's nucleic acid test at the hospital did not produce results for 4 hours. I was deeply shocked. My mother passed away after waiting at the door of the hospital emergency room for 4 hours. I wanted to see my mother for the last time. However, because the community was closed, I took a long time communicating with the relevant departments, so they allowed me to go to the hospital. I stood on the road and couldn't get a taxi because of the lockdown, so I didn't see my mother for the last time. He said, "The tragedy could have been avoided, and I hope this tragedy will not happen again." The news on the death of Lang Xianping's mother triggered a lot of discussion among netizens. Some netizens said, "Some tragedies can really be avoided, even as a celebrity Lang Xianping is like this, let alone ordinary people." That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share it with your friends. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.